secret deals, political payoffs, and a crime network spanning continents. The Falyalı family's empire in Turkish Cyprus was built on scandal and blood money. From laundering Iranian funds to bribing high-ranking officials, their story reveals the deep connections between crime and corruption. A Turkish drug trafficker, indicted in the United States, was revealed to have collaborated with an Iranian fraudster in a sophisticated scheme to launder money for Iran. The operation used the politically sensitive and internationally unrecognized territory of Turkish Cyprus, officially known as the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus, as a base of operations. The region, recognized solely by Turkey, provided a safe haven for these illicit activities. To ensure protection from legal scrutiny, the trafficker reportedly funneled tens of millions of dollars to Turkey's interior minister in exchange for immunity from investigations. These startling revelations originated from Samuel Onal, a bookkeeper who had been intimately involved with the financial dealings of the late drug lord Halil Falyalı. Falyalı, notorious for his involvement in illegal enterprises such as drug trafficking, gambling, and casinos, had accumulated tens of billions of dollars alongside his family. Their illegal operations flourished in the KKTC, which operates as a self-proclaimed independent state but remains under the strong influence of the Turkish government. In an audio recording created by Onal from his prison cell in the Netherlands during the fall of 2023, and later shared on YouTube by Germany-based Turkish journalist Severi Güven, explosive claims were made about payments made by Falyalı. According to Onal, Falyalı paid $20 million to Süleyman Soylu, who was serving as Turkey's interior minister at the time. This substantial bribe allegedly secured Soylu's protection, shielding Falyalı and his associates from legal consequences both in Turkey and in the KKTC. Soylu, a controversial figure previously sanctioned by the U.S. Treasury, reportedly played a pivotal role in helping Falyalı and his criminal network avoid crackdowns. The payment was said to have been orchestrated by Halil Falyalı's brother, Husnu, who facilitated the transfer of the funds to Ahmed Nazeri Sharajini, an Iranian accused of masterminding a significant fraudulent investment scheme targeting European citizens. The funds were then funneled to Sadık Soylu, the brother of the interior minister, who acted as the intermediary between the minister and various crime syndicates. Onal's account detailed the timeline of this transaction, which he claimed occurred on March 7, 2020. The protection ensured by these bribes seemingly paid off for the Falyalı family. Despite their extensive involvement in illegal online betting operations, their names were conspicuously absent from police investigations conducted by Turkey's cybercrime unit. This absence suggests that the bribe successfully insulated them from the scrutiny of law enforcement, allowing their lucrative criminal enterprises to continue unchecked. During interrogations, several suspects openly confessed to their involvement in illegal betting operations connected to the Falyalı family's sprawling criminal network. However, under direct orders from Interior Minister Süleyman Soylu, any mention of the Falyalı family was conspicuously excluded from official police reports and public statements. Instead, individuals with lower profiles were strategically presented as the primary culprits, effectively serving as scapegoats in a series of investigations designed to shield the family from scrutiny. Following the death of Halil Falyalı, the family's illicit empire did not crumble but rather adapted and thrived. Leadership of the multi-billion-dollar crime syndicate passed to Halil's brother, Husnu Falyalı, who now operates the organization alongside Özge Falyalı, Halil's widow. Together, they oversee a vast network involved in various illegal enterprises, including online betting, money laundering, and other financial crimes. In recent years, the Falyalı family has diversified their operations and relocated a significant portion of their wealth to the United Arab Emirates. This move was facilitated by Iranian associates of Ahmed Nazeri, a key player in the family's operations and an expert in currency exchange. Due to stringent U.S. sanctions on Iran's banking sector, Nazeri transported cash on behalf of his Iranian clients, allowing the funds to be discreetly laundered through sophisticated financial mechanisms, including the MoxiPay payment system. MoxiPay, a cornerstone of the Falyalı family's operations, plays a critical role in processing funds for online betting transactions, effectively circumventing international financial regulations. The bookkeeper revealed that the Falyalı family used these betting platforms to facilitate sanctions evasion for Iran, leveraging their connections within Turkish financial and banking systems, both in Turkey and the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus. While Nazeri benefited from lucrative currency exchange deals, the Falyalı family profited heavily from their robust online betting platforms, which continue to generate substantial revenue. To maintain the seamless functionality of these betting operations, the family employs a team of highly skilled IT technicians and software developers. These programmers are responsible for building and managing the online betting infrastructure, which includes the creation of mobile applications for iOS and Android devices. At one point, these apps were even available on mainstream platforms like the App Store and Google Play, offering easy access to their services. According to the bookkeeper, the family earned as much as 8 million Turkish lira per month solely from Google-related activities, highlighting the staggering scale of their operations. Nazeri played a pivotal role in channeling funds generated by Iranian oil smugglers into Halil Falyalı's expansive criminal enterprises, utilizing Dubai as a key hub for the transfer of these illicit profits. His involvement extended beyond mere financial transactions, as he became deeply enmeshed in the Falyalı family's web of illegal activities, solidifying their partnership with shared interests and mutual benefits. Within the sprawling Falyalı crime syndicate, Husnu Falyalı was regarded as a vital link between the organization and influential figures in both the Turkish government and the administration in northern Cyprus. His responsibilities included distributing substantial sums of cash to high-ranking officials, securing protection from law enforcement investigations, and ensuring the uninterrupted operation of the family's extensive illegal enterprises. Husnu's role as a facilitator underscored the intricate relationship between organized crime and political power, allowing the syndicate to function with minimal interference. The family's tactics to maintain their untouchable status were not limited to financial incentives. They also employed more insidious methods, such as blackmailing government officials. This was accomplished through secretly recorded footage from casino hotels under their control, where gambling and prostitution activities were rampant. These recordings served as powerful leverage against officials who might otherwise oppose their operations. The Falyalı family's influence in northern Cyprus extended so far that they effectively controlled their own marine and port facilities, which were instrumental in facilitating drug smuggling and other illicit ventures. The partnership between the Falyalı family and Nazeri was cemented after the Iranian fraudster fled Germany to avoid prosecution and sought refuge in Turkey. There, he orchestrated an elaborate fake investment scheme, preying on elderly individuals across Europe by promising exorbitant returns. Despite being under investigation and wanted by European authorities, Nazeri managed to acquire Turkish citizenship through extensive bribery, further entrenching his position within the Falyalı network. Through his connections with corrupt officials, Nazeri gained access to confidential information about wealthy European expatriates, whom he targeted for his fraudulent schemes. He also secured privileges such as an official entourage of escort vehicles, allowing him to bypass traffic checkpoints and travel freely, further demonstrating his influence and immunity from legal constraints. The Falyalı family's criminal activities did not go unnoticed internationally. Their operations, particularly those involving drug trafficking, attracted the attention of U.S. authorities. On July 13, 2015, Halil and Husnu Falyalı, along with their associate Özgür Demir, who represented the family in the United Kingdom, were indicted and faced a U.S. arrest warrant. The charges outlined in the federal complaint included conspiracy to transport heroin from Cyprus and Turkey to the UK and to launder the proceeds from these drug sales. The scope of their operations extended beyond Europe and the UK, as the family was also accused of laundering profits from drug sales in the United States and other countries. This indictment highlighted the transnational nature of their criminal network and the serious threat it posed on a global scale. Documents submitted to the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of Virginia revealed that the U.S. Justice Department's Drug Enforcement Administration gathered compelling evidence linking the Falyalı brothers to extensive organized crime activities, including large-scale trafficking of narcotics and weapons. Among the materials presented, the DEA highlighted that the Falyalı family had acquired a custom-built boat from the United States, specifically designed to facilitate drug transportation. This vessel was reportedly used to smuggle narcotics from Turkey's port city of Mersin to Famagusta in northern Cyprus, underscoring the international scope of their illicit operations. In May 2012, Halil Falyalı engaged directly with a confidential source working for the DEA in a scheme to launder proceeds from a purported cocaine sale in the United States. As part of the operation, Halil agreed to a deal in which he would launder $50,000 in drug money and retain a 10% commission for his services. The DEA source handed the cash to Halil's representative in London, setting the plan in motion. The laundered funds were processed through a bank account controlled by the Falyalı family in the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus and then transferred to an undercover DEA account at a financial institution in Amman, Jordan, completing the cycle. This initial transaction was only the beginning. Halil later orchestrated another money laundering operation, this time involving $100,000 provided by the DEA through a front company established in Virginia. The deal followed a similar structure, with the Falyalı family earning a reduced commission of 7%. Additionally, a one-time payment of €10,000 was provided to bribe a bank manager in the KKTC to ensure the transaction's success. The funds were deposited into an account at his bank in the KKTC, disguised as proceeds from a fictitious oil trade. After accounting for bribes and commissions, the remaining $79,400 was wired to a DEA undercover account at a bank in Sofia, Bulgaria. The third and most substantial transaction took place in September 2012, involving $150,000. The scheme mirrored the earlier operations, utilizing the same techniques of layering and disguising illicit funds under the pretense of legitimate business activities. These transactions showcased not only the Falyalı family's deep involvement in international money laundering, but also their sophisticated methods of circumventing financial oversight. The evidence collected by the DEA painted a comprehensive picture of a criminal enterprise with significant reach and operational expertise, further implicating the Falyalı family in global organized crime. The trial in absentia against the Falyalı brothers reached its conclusion in 2016, with both being found guilty of charges tied to their extensive criminal activities. Despite this verdict, Halil Falyalı continued to operate until his assassination in February 2022. The attack occurred just outside his residence in Kyrenia, shocking the northern Cypriot underworld. Two notorious organized crime figures, Mustafa Söylemez and Mehmet Faysal Söylemez, were later indicted for orchestrating the murder. In January 2024, a Turkish court handed down its verdict following a lengthy trial. Mustafa was convicted of premeditated murder and sentenced to life imprisonment, while Mehmet was acquitted on the grounds of insufficient evidence. Additional defendants in the case, including Abdurrahim Selik, Cengiz Şener, and Ender Yildiz, were convicted of aiding in the murder and participating in organized crime. Each received a sentence of 25 years, underscoring the court's acknowledgement of their role in the deadly conspiracy. During the trial, a revelation emerged from Mehmet's testimony, adding a new layer of intrigue to the case. He alleged that millions of dollars had been funneled from Hüsnü Falyalı to Turkey's then Interior Minister through a trusted intermediary, former Ankara Police Chief Servet Yılmaz. This claim corroborated earlier allegations made by the Falyalı family's bookkeeper in an audio recording, further implicating high-ranking officials in the network of corruption and crime. For years, Turkish authorities appeared to turn a blind eye to the Falyalı criminal empire, allowing it to flourish unchecked. The only formal legal challenge to Halil's activities came in 2007, but the case dragged on for years and ultimately ended in his acquittal in 2015. It was not until his assassination, believed by some to be orchestrated by influential individuals within the Turkish government as part of a larger reorganization of the KKTC's criminal syndicates, that meaningful action was taken against the family. His death marked a turning point, sparking a wave of investigations and enforcement actions that had been conspicuously absent during his life. In November 2022, authorities seized approximately $30 million worth of cryptocurrency linked to Halil Falyalı. The assets were frozen on a Malta-based cryptocurrency exchange following a formal request from Turkish officials investigating an illegal gambling network tied to the Falyalı family. A month later, in December 2022, Turkish prosecutors escalated their crackdown by issuing detention warrants for 163 individuals suspected of connections to the family. These individuals were accused of participating in illegal gambling operations, signaling an unprecedented effort to dismantle the remnants of the Falyalı criminal organization. In a separate audio recording, the bookkeeper Onal made startling claims regarding a substantial bribe orchestrated by Özge Falyalı in the aftermath of her husband's murder. According to Onal, Özge paid an astonishing $50 million to then Turkish Vice President Fuat Oktay to suppress further investigations into the Falyalı criminal syndicate. She was deeply concerned that intensified probes could lead to the freezing of family assets, as well as potential extradition demands that might dismantle her illicit operations. Onal disclosed that part of this enormous bribe was personally delivered to Oktay in Istanbul, while the larger share was transferred to him through financial channels in Dubai. Since this alleged transaction, actions against the Falyalı network have notably subsided. Despite the mounting evidence and international attention, no extradition requests have been filed for Özge Falyalı, and the family's substantial assets in Turkey remain untouched, raising questions about whether the bribe effectively neutralized any further legal repercussions. Fuat Oktay, who held the vice presidency at the time of these alleged dealings, stepped down from his position last year. He has since taken on a new role as chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee in the Turkish parliament, continuing to hold significant political influence. The history of the Falyalı family traces back to the coastal city of Paphos in southwest Cyprus. Following the Turkish military operation on the island in 1974, they resettled in the village of Kumyali in the Famagusta region. Over the years, the family's trajectory intertwined with both politics and paramilitary activities. They were associated with the Turkish Cypriot Resistance Organization, a paramilitary group established by Rauf Denktaş, who later became the founding president of the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus. Before their rise in the underworld, the Falyalı family initially focused on legitimate business ventures. They operated in the home appliance trade in northern Cyprus, building a modest yet respectable foundation for their livelihood. Their patriarch, Cahit Falyalı, also ventured into politics. He served as Deputy Secretary General of the National Unity Party, a national conservative political party in the KKTC, further entrenching the family's influence within the political and social fabric of the region. Halil Falyalı's career in business began in 1998 when he took over the management of the Sima Casino Hotel on the island of Cyprus. From these modest beginnings, he steadily expanded his enterprise, acquiring additional casinos and establishing himself as a key player in the gambling industry. By the time of his death, Halil had risen to manage the prestigious Les Ambassadors Hotel and Casino, one of the most prominent establishments in northern Cyprus. In 2004, the family diversified its operations, entering the highly lucrative but illegal gambling market in Turkey. This underground industry has since ballooned, with current estimates placing its value at an astonishing 100 billion Turkish lira. Like his father before him, Halil maintained close ties to politics, with his sons actively supporting and funding the National Unity Party, further entrenching the family's influence in both business and political spheres. The circumstances surrounding Halil's assassination have drawn widespread speculation. It has been alleged that the order for his killing came from Mehmet Kemal Agar, a notorious nationalist politician and former minister who has long been associated with drug trafficking and organized crime in Turkey. Agar, a powerful figure in Turkey's criminal underworld, reportedly works in close collaboration with Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. According to sources, Halil's death was part of a broader strategy to restructure the crime network in northern Cyprus and Turkey, redistributing responsibilities among a new cadre of operatives. Agar and his mafia affiliates allegedly sought to eliminate Halil, whose increasingly controversial reputation had become a public relations liability for the Erdogan administration due to frequent negative media coverage. In Halil's place, they planned to install a more compliant figure, a trustee who would operate discreetly as a silent partner within the reorganized syndicate. Halil's name gained significant public attention in Turkey in May 2021, following explosive allegations made by Sedat Peker, a notorious Turkish mob boss. In a series of revelations that implicated high-ranking Turkish officials in international cocaine trafficking, Peker accused Falyalı of playing a key role in laundering the profits from this illicit trade. Peker detailed how cocaine shipments were transported from Venezuela to Turkey and then to the Middle East, often using luxury yachts. The enormous profits from these operations were allegedly funneled through Falyalı's casinos in northern Cyprus and his online betting platforms before being reintegrated into Turkey's legitimate economy. Peker's allegations also implicated several prominent figures, including Erkam Yildirim, son of ruling Justice and Development Party politician and former Prime Minister Binali Yildirim. According to Peker, Erkam Yildirim, Mehmet Kemal Agar, and Falyalı jointly orchestrated the cocaine trade, while then Interior Minister Süleyman Soylu provided them with protection and immunity from prosecution. These accusations painted a damning picture of a deeply entrenched nexus of political and criminal collaboration, with Falyalı's casinos and online gambling platforms serving as critical conduits for laundering the vast sums generated by the drug trade. The intricate connections between the Falyalı family, organized crime, and high-level Turkish politics underscore the far-reaching implications of Halil's death. His assassination was not merely a criminal act, but a calculated move in a larger power struggle within Turkey's underworld, one that sought to consolidate influence while removing figures deemed too risky or controversial.